Today we're going to be going over some tips for postural improvement. I'm addressing a common postural issue that a lot of people have, which is definitely due to all of the sitting at a desk, driving, texting, and just kind of like our forward-facing life. So what this does is puts our spine into a position that is not neutral. We're slouched over, all the muscles in the front of our body are tight, everything back here is lengthened, not stabilizing us as we should be, which means that we have a lot of tight muscles where they shouldn't be tight, maybe headaches, definitely limited range of motion. So we are going to do a few simple exercises to address that. We need a foam roller, a lacrosse ball, you can use a tennis ball as well, and we'll also use a mini band. So we're going to start with that foam roller for some thoracic spine mobility. And what this is going to do is work some motion into the spine or the spinal column, like as it pertains to your rib cage. So we're going to come onto our backs, lay on the foam roller, starting up at your shoulders. And I want to keep my butt on the ground, my core is engaged to prevent my rib cage from flaring out. That's going to isolate the movement in that thoracic spine. I'm just going to straighten my head going straight back. So I'll kind of go along each vertebrae by vertebrae, loosening everything up. So we'll continue that down until we get to like mid-back. You do not want to do that on your lower back, so then you'll stop at the bottom and go back up. Next move is the cat-cow. Again, just bringing some movement into that portion of our body that tends to get locked up. So we're going to come onto all fours. Hands are stacked under our shoulders, our knees are hip width apart. And we're just going to do a few cat-cows. I'd say you do 10 each of these. Getting some expansion and then trying to get that flexion back. Just getting that movement. This is flexion and extension. So 10 of those. And then we're going to go into some rotational moves with that thoracic spine. So on all fours, I'm going to place my left hand down. My right hand is at my ear, and I'm going to aim my elbow to my elbow, and then keeping my hips still, I'm going to reach and try to get that other elbow up toward the sky. Now, if I let my hips shift, I can get there, but that's not getting movement up in the upper body, it's coming from lower. So we keep those hips still and rotate. So from the side, feels really great. All right, so that's some thoracic mobilization, getting some movement in the back body, but another problem or issue here is that these pectoral muscles can get really tight. So what that means is that they are pulling and interfering with the muscles in the back to engage. So what I like to do, I do this at least a couple times a week, is I take a lacrosse ball and I'll be facing a wall. You find that tender spot and find the tight spot in that pec. So it's your chest muscle here. Kind of, you're facing the wall, pressing up against the wall. Find that tender spot and just hold it there. And the pressure, how far you lean on the wall will dictate the amount of pressure. Maybe you bring in a range of motion in there. That really changes things up. But if you find a tender spot, let it sit there, hold the tension, and your muscle will release after about 30 seconds. That one's great to do, especially if you're doing any overhead lifting or any upper body work. These are all great. So final portion of our little warm-up here. So we've loosened up the front. We're going to re-engage the back muscles. Okay, so we're going to take this mini band, shoulder width apart. I'm in a neutral spine. Rib cage is stacked over my pelvis. And I'm going to pull this until it touches like the bottom of my sternum. And I'm imagining also that I'm like cracking a nut in between my shoulder blades, squeezing those together to kind of wake up those muscles that are turned off a lot of the time. So that's it for this Tip Tuesday. If you have any questions, get in touch with me, myself, or another trainer. We'd love to help you out. Have a great day.